I found this new guy that I liked, and his last name is Peterson. Another Peterson. I already did a series to Jordan Peterson. This is the Black Peterson this time. I don't know his first name. I just got turned on to him over the last couple of weeks. YouTube sent him, and I like him, but I can see how wrong he is about so many things. And if he goes and looks at what it is I'm showing all of you, and he looks at it and sees it for what it is, and I guess if he has the balls to go look, because he, just like Jordan Peterson, believes in, they believe that they're right about everything because in the lion-ass system, not the lion like the cat lion, but the lion motherfucker ass system, right? We lie about everything. So these guys are going along pretending they're just pretending. They're just making believe it's all fake. It's all bullshit. Provably bullshit. Okay, so they're headed northwest right now, these clouds. But anyways, I'm gonna play this one in the background. I played one yesterday of him. He was on with another dude, but I've been watching his series, and he's been his videos, and he's been pretty much wiping the fucking floor with most of these people, whether they're conservatives or a loopy Democrat type or whatever. I mean, but the way he wins his arguments and the way he's winning his debates is enforcing provable lies, religious lies of every sort, science backing. He's big time backing Trump for being says he's going to bring back America and all this kind of shit. No, man, Trump is just fucking as involved as the rest of the fucking idiots, man. He's just more so. It's all been planned out, man. So for him to do that is very strange to me. I mean, I like what he's got to say, and I was kind of enjoying listening to him for a few days, and but I kept noticing that he was doing that. He kept, in other words, if you see most of the lies and you see even some of the lies, why is it that nobody can see all the lies? Is that because of our divisions? Is that the whole purpose of dividing and dividing and dividing, and divide us by race, divide us by culture, divide us by speech, divide us by math, divide us by um, uh, ideologies, divide, because that's what these guys are all talking about. Look at the fucking imagery he's banging. I mean, what I'm showing you all, you can all go see for yourselves. You can all see it. You can all go look, but you don't have permission. And this guy that I'm about to play, he acts like we all have permission. And I would say that 90% of what he comes out of his mouth is provably false. And then the other 10%, that he's saying that makes sense, that would even make sense even to me, is also a lie. Because when you really look at it, if everything we've ever heard, learned, thought, taught, programmed is a lie, then it's fucked up, man. It's so fucked up. I'm gonna play it, I guess. Look at this. Look at this shit. Right? Image within image from the veil to the ground. Feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. Over and over from the veil to the ground. You can all see it with your own eyes. Look for the triangular builders that are everywhere in every such size, from nano size all the way up to the size of the fucking moon, huge clouds, whatever, triangles, triangles, triangles. The Freemasons and the Illuminati, they all lied to you all in their bullshit stories. I seen Candace Owens on yesterday talking about her Illuminati ties and denying them. I don't even know why she's bothering to deny them. I mean, she's so stupid. She really is. She's so fucking fake now that I've got her figured out as well. Just like when I was calling out her and Jordan Peterson and other of these famous people that got their creds and shit like that on. They're just fucking YouTube and Instagram and Facebook lying motherfuckers too, just like everybody else. They're such fucking liars. And they use all the tools in the toolbox, the same tools that have been used for years. The religions, mostly the religions. But Candace Owens yesterday, I saw her and she's doing her the triangle on her fingers. That's what made me think of it when I was just talking about the true creators, builders. People, we can all see this for ourselves. You don't need superstars, movie stars, and other people to go and see what's right in front of us, okay? It's all around us. I'm only showing you the clouds because it's easy for me. I throw the fucking camera up and the clouds are moving through the camera. If I have to go up to rocks, stones, boulders, and shit, it's less of me doing that because no one ever goes and looks. So why am I going to waste my fucking time walking around from one stone to the next, one rock to the next, all these. I do it, but it's so much easier for me to just throw. And besides that, my rock is in my yard, right? My rock is where the rocks and stones and boulders, for example, or trees or whatever, they're right here. So what am I going to do? Invite thousands and tens of thousands of people over my house to see my magic fucking tree? No, I'm going to aim the fucking camera at the clouds and tell you, hey, assholes, this is the same clouds that are going over your head, right? It's the same fucking clouds, same moon that you see is the same moon that I'm getting. So why are you refusing to look? Why are you refusing to go see what's right in front of your fucking eyes? And then you can all take the cameras in your hands and go in and digitally collect the EMNC from your rocks, your trees, your human skin, and you guys can post them on your channels the same way that I'm telling you about the clouds. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's undeniable. I'm going to go put a brown filter on the other camera and start running the other camera through as well. It's unbelievable, man. You cannot deny it. It's undeniable. It's feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast over and over from the veil to the ground. Still trying to see what the fuck way they're moving. Faces only. Feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. From the veil to the ground, image within image. Go look around in there. On this video right here, take your fucking camera out of your hand, pause this video, put it on your laptop if you're watching it on your cell phone. Use your cell phone as a viewing device, just like you would a piece of glass or a microscope or anything like that. Just use it, put it in your hand, and start looking around at the screen. What you're seeing right here in front of you, there are tens of thousands of images. It's all about lights and shadows, and it's all about angles and distances of perspective, okay? And I can move my camera. I know where I'm going with my camera in order to show it to you all. It's been 6 years now, I think going on 7 now. I'm pretty sure that I've found this. I found a lot more than just what it is I'm showing you here in the camera. But I don't want to waste my fucking time every day because YouTube shuts me down when I even talk about it. The Metellus is huge. This is huge for our health, right? But no, you guys are all going to listen to the health department. You're going to listen to the medical industry as a whole and let them tell you, even though the medical industry's only been around for a couple 100 years and it's only gotten worse. They've got it mastered now. Our children are fucked. Our children and our grandchildren stand no chance against this. All of it. But the medical industry is a big help to this. We're all being fucked because the health industry, the medical industry goes along with the food, right? The food, the air that you breathe. You ignore the fucking trails all about, look at this shit. Look at this shit. You're fucking nuts. You're all fucking nuts. This is crazy to continue on in this zombie slave mentality without going and looking at things and seeing them for yourself. I mean, this is fucking ridiculous, man. This is not a fucking magic trick. This is not a entertainment channel that you came across. This is reality, people. This is fucking reality. And you can all go see it for yourselves. But you won't. You know, this dude John that I was that I was trying to get to do some work for me, to do exactly what it is I'm doing here now. He's always crying that he's broke and everything. He's always looking for work. And I've given him the opportunities. He needs some work done on a car that somebody was giving him. So I could have, I was going to barter with him and do something like that. I'll fix his car up for him. Whatever it needs some body work, some automotive repairs and shit. Right up my alley, no problem. I can't get the fucking guy to come do it. $10 an hour to hold a camera and just point a camera around. I'm not paying no more than that. I don't give a fuck what minimum wage is. It's just photography. As a matter of fact, you don't have to have any experience at all. You don't even have to hold the fucking thing. I mean, I throw this thing out. As soon as you know what you're looking for and where to aim the camera, what you're looking for, meaning lights and shadows and angles and distances of perspective. That's what you're looking for, you know. Look at it. Look at this shit. It's undeniable. It's unfucking deniable. But yet you all are still in denial of it. You're amazing. You guys are fucking amazing. My videos, whether you like it or hate it and you think it's I'm not a fucking entertainer, people. And I've been calling out the entertainers for fucking 6 years. It's not working. I've called out family, friends, neighbors, people I know, everyone I know. I've called everyone out. No one will awaken. They refuse. They awaken to more lies. They awaken to old lies. And that's what this guy that I'm about to play is doing, the same shit. He's propagandizing the same old fucking lies that we've been exposed to for thousands of years. And it's never going to get better if we don't wake up, because we have been lied to about absolutely everything. That is not an overstatement. That is not an exaggeration. That is the fucking facts. We have been lied to about absolutely everything we've ever heard, learned, thought, taught, programmed. And it is a program. There are programs. There are a lot of programs. So whatever programs we all follow, we we bypass our natural electrical connection with the system, with the true creator, put other words and words, the human tongue, ugh. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad how big of fucking liars we are. And then this guy Peterson, just like Jordan Peterson, this other guy Peterson, the Black Peterson, I'll call him, because I don't know his first name yet. But he's the same, doing the same shit. He's using old lies that are already proven to be lies, right? And then, and I could sit here in front of the camera, and maybe I will later as I go into the series. I have to figure out what I'm doing for a series. I've been slacking the last couple of weeks. I got to go back over to the Mall's channel, and I want to check on the Mall. I want to check on this girl Cindy. I seen a few of her videos, and I thought maybe I could get something out of it, but I don't know now. The last few videos that I noticed that she did, she's not coming to my channel and looking, so I don't think she's really gonna get it. I think it was just somebody that was putting up some cloud vids. You know, no big deal. She's not gonna. I did subscribe to her channel, so I've been seeing the videos she's doing lately, and they have nothing to do with what I'm trying to show you. So, but Namal seems to be steadying his camera. He's still doing short videos, from what I can see, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minute videos. And that's okay. And what I can see in his camera, he seems to be steadying it on the images, you know. In other words, I'm wondering, is he trying to replicate what it is I'm doing? I also seen him go at the moon in a couple of his videos, but he's using his regular camera to go in at the moon, and you're not going to get anything out of that. You got to at least, glue your camera to a telescope. So I don't know what the story is with Namal. So I don't know if I'm going to continue with Namal's series on this channel or not. I'll see once I look into him a little more. And also the auditors. The auditors have a lot of 1 second to 10 second whatever clouds in the background of their videos. Of all of them seem to have it, but it's only a couple seconds here, a few seconds there. Sometimes, and it could be anywhere within the video. So in other words, it's a lot of work for me to go through all their videos and find those 3 second clips, and then back those 3 second clips up with sound, right? Because I when I do the series to anybody, I like to use their own sound, their own soundtracks, and when I'm doing that, um, it's just something I've been doing for a while. What I do is I put that one particular video on several devices, and then I put one on the camera for visual so that I can pause it, but it's got no volume, and then on the other one I end up keeping the volume playing on that one. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I'm not an entertainer. I don't want to fucking do that. And it's distracting. It's very distracting to have to fall into your guys, not your guys, but all of our ideas of demands that everyone has to be an entertainer. Everyone has to be entertaining and be an entertainer. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I don't want to go along with the fucking game. In other words, you know. Gotta see if I should tilt the camera somewhere. I mean, it's unreal, man. It's unfucking believable how good it is right now. It's supposed to start raining out later, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it's undeniable. Fuck me, man. So I'm gonna play this dude's video, listen to him a little bit, and just want to point out that I do not agree with him at all anymore. I mean, the first day or two I was listening to him, I must have heard a couple of his videos that I liked, and then I was starting to look at it and stuff. Nah, nah. And then it's the same thing with the auditors too. I mean, the auditors, yes, it's hard to watch. I mean, seeing everybody get fucked, but I think a lot of the auditors are agents too. They're just agents of the state. Some of them are, they play all sides. You have the anti-auditors out there, right? They're just agents of the state as well, and you can tell. And they play against each other, and they fight and argue. Oh, the cops are to blame. No, the government is to blame itself, and you know, everything's got to go, man. We've been lied to about absolutely everything, especially when the moral high grounds that we're standing on are based on false religions that we can now prove. We always could prove it, we just didn't want to know. That's the beauty of being a zombie slave, even in America. So being an American zombie slave, big fucking deal. Still a zombie slave. Think that you have so much. Ain't got shit, man. Ain't got shit. Even though, no, no. Could put it both ways. Ain't got shit could be one frame, or you got a bunch of shit that you don't need. Let's put it that way. You want a bunch of shit that you don't need. You have a bunch of shit that you don't need. None of it is necessary for happiness. And then the things that would give us joy and happiness, we let them be ripped from us, you know. Some of the things that this other Black Peterson have been saying too, when you look back to the days that he likes to bring up, because he grew up in the Jim Crow era, and he claims that he didn't even notice it. He didn't even know there was a Jim Crow era. He claims that was a false time, a false memory or whatever, because he don't remember it being like that and everything. All right, well, I've been trying to point out to the black communities myself, and I called out several black humans, even calling out Namal. Namal's dark skin, brown dark, but not black dark, but brown dark at least. And I think it's very important that somebody of color, dark color, comes around to what it is I'm showing you. Someone with some influence, someone that can keep it together and show this to everyone else, that we can all see this, all right? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because this Black Peterson, he says that these times didn't even exist, that slavery was not so bad in the days of slavery and in the Jim Crow era, and it was all okay. Well, he keeps bringing up how well dressed the black people were back then, like to take pictures and go to church. They put themselves together and all this stuff. Huge segregation at that time. Very few black humans made it through. And in my opinion, right? In my opinion, if we go by any false history, because all history is false history, if it came from the human tongue, then it's a lie. So I'm just going by the lies I'm just talking about right now for a second. But I want to bring up some truth that no one looks at, that's provable by going and looking at the system. Okay, the imagery does not favor anything. The feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast are pretty even all the way around until we got to Namal. When we got to Namal series, and I still don't even know where the fuck Namal lives. So isn't that weird? So what if Namal, like I kept saying before, what if Namal turns out lives in California, right? That's going to be very strange to me, because what I've been seeing in Namal's videos so far is there a lot of Indian, Eastern, I'll call them Eastern facial features on the human faces. I don't know enough about the animals, but this is something that I've looked for over the years. Like, for example, when looking over Australia or looking into Australia, because you can go to Australian waterfalls, Australian ocean fronts, Australian, because you can digitally collect the EMNC from anywhere. So I just don't know if they're honest videos or not, right? I don't know if they're really taken in Australia because I can't get to Australia. Okay, I'm just pointing this out and explaining this. All right, but I do that, just like the moon over Australia, the moon over Germany, the moon photo. You know, right? People are out there that take moon photos and moon videos. Now, if they come from anyone official, I of course do not trust them. But if they come from a dude in the backyard who also has glued his camera onto his telescope, just like I do, I'm much more likely to trust that moon video or that cloud video or that guy or girl who's out at the ocean taking video of their family and the ocean's clapping up on the shore, the ocean's bouncing around in the background. They're not taking the video to show me the ocean to digitally collect the EMNC from. Those are the ones I like. Those are the ones I trust. But I've been to those. And what I found is that, let's say, for example, over Australia is the one I was going to use as an example. Kangaroos, right? Places where there are kangaroos, places where there are camels known to be and hang out and live, right? Um, am I gonna see those camels and kangaroos in the imagery surrounding those places when I digitally collect the EMNC from those areas? And the answer so far has been no, all the way up until I got to the Namal series. Now, I'm not 100% sure about it yet because I haven't looked into it far enough. But every video that I've looked at of Namals is a high percentage, a very high percentage of Eastern features. That means something. That means something. Just like the same way that I'm telling you that the feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast thing means something. There are a lot of other creatures. Now, I know what it means. I'm pretty sure I got to figure out what that means and why. And I was looking, it took me a few years of looking and staying calm before I realized and figured out, oh, I see. So feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, those are the images. Those are the true creators' images, that everything in this realm was built based on those images of feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast faces. So that when the false creator/creator started his build, he stole the true creator's work, which was the imagery of, right, So that's and it kept dividing. That's where you come up with Adam and Eve. That's where you get positive and negative, up and down, left and right, back and forth. All positive. This is all division, right? So this is where math starts. And then where math started was the division. And then humans stole the true I'm sorry, stole the false creator / creator's work, and we started dividing. And when humans began dividing everything, that's where everything other than the feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast come from human concept, human evolvement, human devolvement, if you will. It brings a lot of things into questions that I don't have the answers for, such as, should we really be eating other animals? Should we be eating them? Definitely, I have the answer that we should not be eating them the way that we do. I guarantee that. We should not be eating other creatures of the earth the way that we eat them. It's not right. There has to be some. There just has to not be that way. Yeah, you should be at least minimum looking at your kill in the eyes. If you're gonna eat an animal or eat another creature, you should look at it in its eyes before you and kill it yourself, and then eat it, and then see how that feels for you. But going to a grocery store and just buying dead flesh by the by the pound. I mean, it's fucking don't make no sense, man. It makes no fucking sense. We should have never went this route. And that's what made it all really, really bad. Look at this shit, man. It's unbelievable. Thousands of people around me. No one looks. Alright, I'm going to put this guy's video on for the remainder of this video. It's already at 27 minutes. Trying to find where that line is right there. Okay, so this guy's name is Jesse Lee Peterson, and he has the channel called The Fallen State. I liked him 2 days ago. Now I disagree with everything I hear him say, but his guests are usually okay too. I don't know. I must have watched maybe 20 of his videos or something, maybe 20, 30 of his videos. Some of them were clips, and they weren't all full videos. But now that I'm watching his videos, this lady here, I usually don't like hearing anything that a liberal douchebag has to say at all. But I like this girl. I actually liked her by the end of the interview. I just watched it about a half hour ago, so I'm going to play it. Amazing. Well, welcome to the show. Yeah, that's the thing about this guy, Jesse, too. He's very antagonistic. He's conceited. He's wrong about so much of the shit that he's talking about. Now, maybe I would agree with him on some of it. some years ago, but now, now I see it all, man. I see it all. He's wrong, man. These guys are all making their assumptions on their own lies that they all believe in. Yes, the other side is also all lies. Yes, I that's true, but they think for some reason they think that their side has truth and reality, and I'm talking about everything. He thinks that his Christian faith is based on truth and reality, and he thinks that his politics are based in Trump, and he thinks that Trump is somehow separate from Hillary, right? He thinks this, and he thinks that they're and this girl actually throws some interesting things at him that, I mean, it's his show, so automatically he has a good way of looking like he's winning every debate. But in this one, I don't think so. I think the girl actually wins this debate on almost every subject. You know, she's wrong too. She's lying about everything too. Don't get me wrong, but and usually he can get people to admit when they get called out and when they see themselves as liars for whatever it might be in whatever situation. When he sees himself as a liar, then the man will back down. But this girl, no, she's really good, and I mean, for me to say that I like the liberal douchebag, I think that's who she is. I don't know. I've never heard of her before, but I just like the interview, so I'm gonna play it. Probably got a copyright strike too. I got to check the other one from yesterday. Look at this. Look at the camera. Look at the fucking camera. It's unbelievable. I'm not doing anything. I just aim the fucking camera. I'm showing you. You can all do this. This is the true creator, baby. This is the fucking true creator. You're seeing the false creator / creator. You all see it for yourselves. All right, let's listen to this. I'll shut up.
We have the most well-funded military in the world. We have the strongest military in the world. And they failed today, right now. We're going to change that.
All right, I'm going to get copyright strikes.
Did that happen?
Yeah, there's a listen, at this point, the United States government, they're giving me the sun, the moon, and the stars at this point because it's well documented. It's not a point of it's alleged, it's confirmed. Like everything that I've been through has been confirmed.
And so when you were having sex with those guys in the military, you didn't want...
See, there's a perfect example. They gave me the sun, the moon, and the stars. No, they didn't. They lied to you about it all. The earth that you live on is a fucking lie. The sun, the moon, and the stars has been a lie. They lied to you. It's not what they told you it is. It's not what they told you it is in the Bible. It's not what Obama told you it was when he was in office, because Obama's the one that brought in the flat earth movement. And at least in our generation, that's who brought it in. Because otherwise, nobody ever in any time when we had true intelligence did anyone ever think that we lived on a flat earth. That was a made-up story. That was a made-up bullshit that was put in. Oh, yeah, we used to think. No, that was to make you think when they were telling you that the earth was a ball. You got to put yourself in that situation back when they first decided they were going to tell you that you lived on this spinning wet pararocket ball flying through the vast of outer space at tens of thousands of miles an hour, spinning at 1,100 miles an hour. The moon was doing this. This is what the moon is. This is what the planets are. This is what the stars are. That's a lot of bullshit stories. A lot of them. And everyone believes in those stories. Everybody. I have never met anyone who doesn't believe in one of those fucking stories. Even the flat earthers still believe in a solar system. They're full of shit. They lied to you about everything. But you guys cannot get around it. You cannot get your head out of your asses. Go and look for yourselves. Stop listening to the human concepts, the human tongue. Do not listen to us anymore. You have to go see things. There's another language that will be spoken to you. I promise you this. I can promise you. There is another language. It's an unspoken language that will be spoken to you through the true creator, through the false creator / creator. And it's not going to be what you're expecting. If you hear human words coming from those entities, do not believe it. Those are not entities that use human words in any language. They do not use these languages. They do not have a tongue to use these languages. It's not, no, stop. Everything else is human concept. So, anyways,
Want to have it? You don't want to do it?
No, and I was a minor, and I was coerced, I was abused, and I went through torture.
Amazing.
That's sexual violence. That's not consensual.
Could this have been, when I read your story about allegedly being sexually abused in the military, it made me.
It's not alleged, it happened.
It's further verified that women.
look at the camera. Look at the fucking camera. It's unbelievable, man.
The military.
There's thousands of people around me. No one looks. No one fucking looks.
I noticed that
It's
every
amazing.
time women get involved with the men stuff, they always accuse men of some type of abuse, sexual abuse or violent abuse or something. Do you agree with me that women should stay with women and men should stay with men? Because you hear more from the women than you do the men.
So I completely disagree with everything you just said, because it is not an issue of men and women being segregated and separated, and it's also not women blatantly accusing men. It is a power structure of patriarchy that continually lies to men, because there's something in the social sciences that's called homosocial bonding. That is where men's relationships with men are built on competition and power hierarchies. Relationships amongst women are based on collaboration and connection. So when men treat women with competition and for power dynamics and utilize women as tools for their hierarchy and their status amongst men, that is the problem that creates and perpetuates sexual violence. So it's a cultural issue.
But men don't think of women as competition because they know that women are no competition to them at all. It's just that
I highly
women
disagree with what you're saying. The reason we have segregated sports to begin with is because women were beating men in sports and men got upset about it. So the reason that sports are segregated to begin with is because during the 70s and 80s, women were consistently beating men in sports. Also, a lot of inventors like myself, I am literally one of the highest ranking inventors in the United States history. So to sit there and say that I've competed against 500,000 men this year with my inventions and I'm ranking in the top 1%, I'm doing better than men are. So how are you sitting there to say that like my contributions are not notable when they're significantly notable to national security?
Well, what I was about to say is that men don't see women as competition at all because they know women are not competition. It's just that women are so insecure and they're jealous of the man, so they're always trying to prove that they're equal to the man.
So
and
that's
so
an inaccurate statement.
Instead of admitting that, they say, well, the men try to this and but it's women who are trying to prove that they are equal to men, and it never will happen. You agree to that?
That's called a misogynistic ideology, because in order for men to even exist, women have to exist. And scientifically, estrogens were around in humanity for hundreds of millions of years before androgens were. So men would not exist without women. Secondly, if we're going to get to the point that you're making, that women are not equal to men, I just asserted the point that I am a top tier elite military inventor for the United States of America. I competed against 500,000 men and came out on top. So what I'm trying to tell you is I wasn't doing that to compete against the men. I did that because I'm just capable, and that the resulting outcome was that I came out in the upper echelon. So what I'm trying to tell you is women don't go about our lives to compete with men. And I did not say that men are trying to compete with women. What I said is homosocial bonding is that men compete against other men for social status and power. So in relation, women are used as tools in order for a man to get higher status in hierarchy. So they objectify women versus treating women with dignity and respect. So again, to counter both of the points that you made, It's not factual, because if it was, I wouldn't be as high up on the
Pim,
totem pole for inventing prowess for advanced technologies.
No,
How come men aren't doing that?
I
How come
think
they
what
didn't come out on top of me?
I think what you might not realize, and I do understand it, is that in our country today, women and the blacks are not equal to normal people, and so the white man is allowing women to think that they're doing better as they do with the blacks, and so much is not required of women and the blacks as it does with normal people. So just because they
So
say that you have the best invention doesn't really mean that you have the best invention. They're just doing it to appease the women.
that's definitely not true. The reason I came out at the top is because my inventions have military applications for national security. So the reason that I came out on top is because of my skill set, my knowledge, and my expertise. So that's the reason. It has nothing to do with men, women, or whatever. Whoever had the best invention would make it to the top. That's just how it works.
Not in
So
society
it's
today. They have
so
lowered the
that is
standard for women and the black.
no, that's the standards are not lower, they're higher.
No, they're lower.
Black males are incarcerated at the highest rates for ridiculous crimes. So that means that they're being held to a higher standard than what white men are. So that's not true.
If they were not committed a crime, would they be locked up?
Most likely, there's plenty of men who have been on death row that are black, and they were put on death row improperly based on a system of racism, because American society is built on racism.
So let me go back to the military thing. Do you agree with me that system?
no, I agree with her on a lot of these things. I really do. We still are. Everything's based on racism. So one of the things if I end up making a series to this guy Peterson, and I don't think I will because I don't think I like him enough to do it. He's got the fame. If I was able, but I don't think he's reachable. I don't think that he would wake up. He's too stuck for no reason. He's still too stuck in his ways. He doesn't listen to anyone else's point of view at all or anything. So, which is the case with most of these guys. Candace Owens, same thing. Jordan Peterson, same thing. I'm gonna guess that Jordan Peterson and Candace Owens both have come to my videos at some point, or one of their minion has. I was mentioning this yesterday. At least their minions have had to come, so they've already turned that down what it is I'm showing them. And anybody that you make a 200-300 part series out to, they're gonna get the message that there's a series out there made to them. I don't care how much of a nobody I am. That's just impossible. That, granted, I don't expect them to get millions of views, but there has to be a decision whether to say, I'm going to deny that the person even exists because he's not worth my time. That's one way. And that's fine, because either way, it works for me as far as calling people out. The other way would be to, in other words, one way is to just not acknowledge that I even exist, right? For these famous people, for these people with these big YouTube channels or these big YouTube stars or whatever, right? And what would be the other way would be to acknowledge that I exist and rank me out and say that I'm full of shit and I'm out of my mind and I'm insane, right? That's why I'm very careful. I'm very careful to never give them, you'll never see me wearing a tinfoil hat. You'll never hear me talk about a conspiracy and call it a conspiracy theory without bringing in conversation about Freemasonry, Illuminati-ish propagandist bullshit that happens all over this earth. So when I'm listening to this guy talk about the races, right? All right, so there was a time when black humans were in charge, and you can go back to even using our false history, in other words, I know of things that I cannot prove to you, but I've seen it, so I know that I'm right about this, but I can't prove it to you. So I would understand that you'd have to go back and look at history. So go back to when the Aztecs, we were told, built those big, what are they, structures, just those large structures, right? For example, you had the Egyptians building um, the pyramids, right? It's not even impressive to me, the pyramids, really, at this point. I don't even think I'd look for the pyramids, of how they moved the stones, and that'll go beyond that, go before that. So we go back to, we were told the Aztecs built these other um, structures, and they were using 350 to 500 ton stones. Not on average, but there were 350 to 500 ton stones. During that time, whatever that time frame that was not the Aztecs that were doing that. Now, the Aztecs were a dark, I guess, native Indian looking culture, right? They were not the Afro that we know, the dark, they were not real dark black. They were brown, dark brown, maybe even, but they were not black. All right. And I'm bringing color into this because we can see, when I'm telling you about looking at the lights and shadows, that's how I started to learn about all of this. Had a great appreciation for all the lights and shadows in all colors, by the way. That's why I'm adding these filters for you. That's the whole point of me adding these filters. Blue filters, green filters, red filters, yellow filters, gray filters, brown filters, because I'm adding contrast for your eyes, because I learned about the lights and shadows, black and white, dark and light, right? All right, so trying to keep with the story because this video is going to shut off and I'll have to restart it. So this guy is always ranking out black humans. He's black himself, by the way, so he has the ability to do that without being shut down and canceled. It seems like, anyway, so far. And there it goes, too. Son of a bitch. All right, so what he does is he goes back to a time when he was a kid and segregation was happening and not so much slavery. And he talks about it being a cleaner time for black people, were cleaner and not so ghetto, and they had but I struggled to explain to him, please go look at the system, go look at what it is I'm showing you, sir, Mr. Peterson. And I guarantee you, you're not going to feel that way anymore, because you're not going back far enough. You have to go back to a time when those 350 to 500 ton stones were being built. That was the time that blacks were in charge. Black humans were in charge of everything, and things were much better, much more peaceful. Everyone lived in harmony. There was a utopia feel to it, okay? And that's when black humans were in charge. Go back to that time. And I'm not talking about the Aztecs, because it was before the Aztecs. All the Aztecs did was they threw those hundreds pounds, not even in the tons. They threw those stones up on top of these 350 ton stones. And then we said, oh, those were the Aztecs that built those structures. Bullshit. Bullshit. They're full of shit. So you're not going far enough back, sir, when you only go back to a time of 60 to 100 years, 200 years, 300 years. Nah, man, you're talking 10,000 years. Black humans are not getting their turn on the world stage because they fucked themselves. We fucked them. It's not whites did it to them. It's just that whites got on top and never came back down. Look when this, okay, put it this way too. Okay, right now, white humans are in charge of everything, right? We're the leading world power, put it that way, which we don't live in a world, by the way, sir. We don't live in a world. Stop impressing the lies that you brought up on, and keep impressing those lies on your fan base, no matter how much they love hearing it. They're liars, too. They're all liars. We all are liars about absolutely everything. So if you base all your strength and your power is based on lies, you always bragging how the white man invented everything. Well, everything the white man invented was invented with intent to deceive and to lie. Everything from the toaster to your washer and dryer that you use, that's supposed to be great technology, to the uh, phone that's in your hand right now, the TVs that you've been watching, the radios you've been listening to, the telephones you talk on. Everything has been based on propagandist slavery tactics for all humans, not just black humans, but for all fucking humans. And you're not going to see it because you were told that if you go with the flow, you will, they've showed you, you can make money, right? You can make money off these idiots, off your fellow zombie slaves. You can get a better life if you take advantage of their denial, of their ignorance, of their intelligence. I'm sorry. If you take advantage of their intelligence, you send them to school, indoctrinate them. You tell them, yes, you live on a spinning wet pair rocket, but it's spinning on 1,100 miles an hour, going tens of thousands of miles through the earth space, and blah 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 blah. And then you can even throw other shit at them here and there to make it feel like they have their own thoughts. You can send out your president, Obama. You can send out your boy Obama and come out on stage and make statements about the words flat earth. It could be negative. He could even say it in a negative. It doesn't matter. The word was mentioned by a president, right? We don't have time for a meeting with the Flat Earth Society, they'll tell you, right? And then automatically, boom, all the zombie slaves have a good portion of them that will be, get a spark from that word, just from the term, I should say. They'll get a spark from that, and then they'll be on it. And they'll say, why would he say that? Why would the President of the United States say something that we were told in our books in school that hasn't been said in a couple hundred years? Well, I'll tell you what, man, it hasn't been even that long because people were not really convinced that we lived on a spinning wet pair rocket ball until your time, buddy Peterson. Not until your time. You fucking zombie slaves, you fucking guys in your generation in that 1969 moon landing nonsense was such a big bullshit story, and you still to this day refuse to go look at things for what they are. And then we're supposed to, the rest of the zombie slaves, just go along with it. And I hear you ridiculing people about trying to, and it kind of works because most of the people that believe that they're living on the spinning wet parakeet ball go, ah ha 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 ha, yeah, ha, 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 flat earth, ah ha ha. Yeah, sure, the flat earth bullshit story was a lie too, but so is your ball. So why are you not looking at yourself? You won't look at yourself because you fucking were brought up on these same fucking lies. How could you be so intelligent that you watched that fucking 1969 moon landing happen? Most likely by your age, you watched it on your television. You had money back then. You said it yourself. Now I'm punching in the wrong number because yeah. So everything has been a fucking lie. It's not just it's not just the other side. Let's see. All right.
So many women are crying sexual abuse and brutality and stuff like that. Do you agree with me that in universities and military and soccer and whatever, that women should not be allowed to play with men since they are always crying some type of abuse?
So again, what you're saying is inaccurate because when women come forward to express the violence that they went through, that again is a result of homosocial bonding dynamics. It is men objectifying women. So if men stopped objectifying women and treated women as equals, these problems would not even exist. It's about boundaries and respect and consent.
How can you treat
it has nothing to do with gender.
How can you treat women as equal to men when they're not equal to men? God didn't make it that way. It's God over Christ, Christ over man, man over woman.
So you're talking about one religion, and you're talking about one ideology based on one book.
No, I'm not talking about religion.
Instead of what reality actually looks like, because women throughout history, in a number of different factions, have come out ahead of men. So you're making this about a gender dynamic between men and women. It's about capability, intelligence, and expertise. Doesn't matter where it comes from. It just matters who has it. Now, your genetics are your genetics. It is not binary that men's genetics are superior, and it's not binary that women's genetics are superior. It is a genetic lottery, and depending on your history, however your genetics come out, it's how your genetics are superior. It is not these binary lines that a book from 3,000 years ago that was modified numerous times is saying.
Well, I'm not talking about religion. I'm just talking about reality. Do you believe that women are equal to men, right?
100%.
Then why are women always whining and complaining? Oh, I've been sexually abused. I was abused whenever, especially when they're losing.
I just want to explain that what you're saying is highly offensive
to
women everywhere because it's not whining about it. It is confronting the abuses that we have gone through to have a dialogue
But
about what is happening to ensure that consent and boundaries are respected. Again, that has nothing to do with women. Do you know how many men in the military go through sexual violence?
you don't hear
Like
them
there's
whining
an
about it.
abundance of
You don't hear them
there's an
complaining.
abundance of men who have gone through sexual violence in the
But
military.
you don't hear them whining about it like the women.
Because most of them go on to commit suicide, and it is conversations like this that lack empathy and compassion that lead men to commit suicide after they go through sexual violence, because it creates shame.
But at
So
least
the
they
same
don't
way that
whine.
your dialogue is shaming women who've gone through sexual violence, the same thing happens with men when they come forward, but it's more stigmatizing. So it leads them to go commit suicide instead.
But they
That's one
still
of the
don't
main
whine.
reasons.
They don't go around whining about it. They deal with it. However
So
way.
you're saying that you believe that men should commit suicide instead when they go through sexual violence, instead of confronting the power structure and the abuser. So what you're saying is you believe that people who do the abusing should get away with it. That makes no sense.
No, the only thing I'm saying right now is that I notice that women whine about that kind of stuff, and yet they want to be in competition with men. And when they can't win, they start, "Oh, you abused me. You sexually harassed me." They start
So
complaining.
what it sounds like to me is that you have a lot of internalized misogyny and a lack of education on the actual social dynamics that occur that lead to sexual violence.
But a
That's
lot of
what it
women
sounds like to
lie
me,
about
what
that
I'm
stuff.
hearing.
It's been proven that a lot of women lie about sexual abuse.
What research? Because
especially in
the data says less than 4% of women
especially in
have
colleges.
made up less than 4%. That means 96% of women have been validated in telling the truth. So what you're saying
It's
again
easy
is
for
not
women to
factual.
lie.
So that is an internal bias that you have.
No, I
That's
see
what
it all
that
the
is.
time when you know how when married
It
couples.
doesn't matter what you see. It's a matter what the data and the statistics say. And
No,
it says
they
that
make up the data.
96% of women are telling the truth.
They don't the data. You can't trust the data, but you know
Right.
how
If you're trying to say you can't trust data, but you can trust a book from 3,000 years ago that's been modified
I haven't
over time
mentioned
to
the book.
enslave people and indoctrinate them, that again is the same. It counters your own point that you're attempting to make.
But I have not mentioned a book at all. You mentioned a book, not me. But
No,
let me.
you mentioned the Bible numerous times, and that
No, I
your belief
haven't. I
system
said the
leads you
order
to
of
believe that
God.
men are superior to women, which is a book that is a lie, because Jesus Christ himself was a socialist who believed in equality
What
and
the?
fought for women and minorities.
What the? Let me ask. So you say you were
Obviously, you have not read the Aramaic Bible, which is the original Bible that Jesus himself grew up on.
you believe in God?
I'm an atheist.
Do you believe in God?
I just told you I'm an atheist.
Does that mean you don't? I'm black and slow. Does that mean you don't believe in God?
I don't believe in any God.
Oh, okay. You said you were traumatized with this allegedly sexual abuse, right? But yet, according to your bio, you started an OnlyFans account where you post naked pictures of yourself. And my question is, if you were sexually traumatized, why would you post naked pictures? First of all, is that true? It might not even be true. Did you post naked?
So, yeah, no, we're going to answer
So
this.
if you were
there's a
sexually
difference,
traumatized,
again.
why did you do that?
One, that trauma happened 17 years ago. Two, also, I'm past that trauma, and what I choose to do with my body is empowerment. So if I choose to do something consensually, that is different than being raped and being forced to do something I don't want to do. They're two vastly different things. So if I choose to empower myself to do something that I consent to, that I'm okay with, that's not sexual violence. That's an agreement between me and whatever men are involved, and it's a consensual action. So consent is the key. It's consent and boundaries. As long as that is respected, what do you think, that people who go through sexual violence never have sex in their lives? Like, that's ignorant to believe that.
How do
So the
you?
reality is sexuality does not stop because you go through sexual violence, right? So what sexuality is about consent. It's about mutual respect and mutual understanding. So as long as boundaries are respected, you can do whatever you want with your body.
But how are you empowering yourself by showing your naked body? Because when the men see that,
Because it's
all they're
about
thinking
consent.
about, when men see that, all they're thinking about having sex with you. They can care less about you or anything.
But like, here's the thing.
They just
like,
want
what
the
you're,
sex.
what
So
you're
how
saying, though, is like you're
are you
acting as if I
empowering
care.
yourself? How are you
But
empowering yourself?
you're acting as if I care what men think.
But how
I
are
do
you
not care what the
empowering
men think who
yourself?
are buying my photos. If they're buying my photos and they're respecting my boundaries, I do not care what they think.
But
So
how is
for
that
me,
empowering?
it's called money. Money is empowering,
Money is
right?
not
So what
power.
I'm saying is, it is.
No.
It is because that's how I paid for my inventions. So it is empowering.
But that's not power, though. It's just a tool
It
we
is
use on
power.
earth to pay for something. That's just
It is.
it.
It is power. I'm on the
But
trajectory to become one of the most powerful women in American history. It's definitely power.
there is no way
You may
that.
not like it. You may not agree with it. But again, I could care less.
But to think of yourself as being a powerful woman is a false idea. It's a false thought. It's not real.
No, it's not.
It's
It's
just an
that your thoughts
illusion
are
in your imagination.
misogynistic.
It's just
So
an illusion.
you think that I would make less of myself because you're a misogynist. Like again, the same way I could care less what other men think of me, I could care less what you think of me. Like it means nothing to me.
I know, but what you don't understand is to think of yourself as a powerful woman is just a false idea in your imagination only. It's an illusion.
That's definitely
It's
not
not-
true because
it's not
I'm
real.
on the trajectory. I'm on the trajectory in the next 10 years. I will be one of the wealthiest women in the United States. I am on that trajectory.
But you still will be.
So-
It's still
so
not going
what-
to make you powerful.
It is.
No.
It definitely is.
No.
Yes.
How?
Yes.
How?
That's
You
how
still
money
going to be
works.
angry.
That's how
You
money
still-
works. When you have money, you have power. That's
But-
how that works.
You. If you
But we live in a capitalist society. So in case you forgot that, I'm here to remind you of it.
I think what you don't realize, though, if you didn't get the money, you're still going to be angry and insecure and have fear and lonely.
I'm not angry. I'm not insecure, and I have no fear.
You
How do you
still
think
going
I'm
to.
It's true, man, but it's all propagandized. It's all fucking programming. We were all programmed to feel these emotions at all different levels because we all have to be divided. Have to divide everyone. Since he's talking about this right now, I'll take the opportunity to mention a couple other things that I thought of when I was watching this earlier. One that he just doesn't see. He just doesn't see it. All right. He's talking about the depression and men and women and how sad they are, miserable and shit like this, right? But he doesn't look at the suicide rates at a time when he claims was much better. In other words, the technology has picked up has been the big change, in my opinion, of why more and more suicides are happening. The propaganda to encourage everyone to be here for a shorter time. Eat the food and you die sooner. Breathe this air in. We're going to dump trails all over your fucking head every day and you're going to say nothing about it. That's programming. They programmed you all to not look. They programmed you to not see what's right in front of your own eyes. He blames it on the mother that is the evil one. That's a falsity. That's a fucking falsity. It's everyone. It's men and women. We've been propaganda. I question it myself. I say, well, okay, if the majority of doctors today are men, right? And after what we just went through with the Lion Mama Kona 19, just using that as an example, leave out the AIDS virus, leave out the polio, leave out all the other diseases, the cancer, leave out the diabetes, leave out all the other shit. But just what we did over the last few years with the Lion Mama Kona 19, right? Bringing out the jab and everything. So if a majority of the doctors are men, and that's a fact, right? That's a fact. Matter of fact, a lot of the nurses nowadays are men, where in the old days, a lot of nurses were women. Now, I don't know what the number is. It's probably close to 50-50 male nurses and female nurses. So they let 1% of the doctors become 1% of the doctors are women, right? But very low percentage, not very high. Maybe if you have to bring in all the gynecologists, female gynecologists, I guess, in order to make that number up. Maybe eye doctors, if you wanted to bring other doctors, but surgeons for sure are dominantly male. Practitioners are dominantly male. Dentists are prominently male. So doctors in itself, right? But he doesn't go back to a time when he talks about his childhood being so great, but suicide rates were way higher among men than women, even back then, even before all this internet shit happened, even before the television, even, before television became a big thing. As far as programming us, right? Because you had to get programmed through your church, through your newspaper at best, and maybe some books and libraries if you had access to a library. But it was mostly school and church you were being indoctrinated through. It still goes today, but just a lot more variety to be programmed by. I wanted to point that out as I'm talking about this stuff because this guy, Peters, the Black Peterson, he says a lot of shit about that, and he doesn't think about it. Um, Back to talking about the black and white thing. Okay, the Spaniards, brown skin, they were the leading world power for a lot of years. Then you had, and I'm just bouncing around because my history is really shitty. But anyways, then you had the Peruvians, also a lighter brown, probably in my opinion, than the Spaniards. Were also a leading world power. We know that Japan, China, the Asias, they also had a turn on the world stage as being the leading world power at a time when we were calling it a spinning wet pear rocket ball, or trying to call it a spinning wet pear rocket ball. And yeah, it was hard to get the zombie slaves on board with that. Took thousands of years, I guess. Who knows? History's been such a fuck job. But anyways, then you had the Arabian control of the being a leading world power. So over the centuries, you had the Greeks. The Greeks were the leading world power. The French were the leading world power for a time. Okay, so when you look around, black humans in our history, going back thousands of years of what we know, black humans, whenever you say this, and most people like Candace Owens and them, they try saying, oh, but the Aztecs were not the kind of black that I'm talking about. They're black like you guys are, right? In other words, the hair, the nose, the facial features, the larger body mass, all these things. There was a black leaders were in charge at the times that we were moving those 350-ton stones. And believe me, we're doing way more than moving stones around. When you look at the builds that they were doing, it goes to show you we don't know shit today. We don't know shit. We have lost so much of our technology, and we claim this guy here, Peterson, another Peterson, the black Peterson and the white Peterson, lying motherfuckers for sure. My question is, do they know that they're lying? Are they purposely lying? Or is this all incidental, coincidental, lying ass motherfuckers due to their programming? I don't know. I just got turned on to him. I know that Jordan Peterson is full of shit. I know that. I know that he's a purposeful liar, Freemason sign on. I know that. I know now that Candace Owens is a Freemason Illuminati fucking sign on. I know that. She's proving it every fucking day. Yeah. Because you know why I say that? Because they've been to my videos. They know. They've seen it. I know that they've seen it. They can't deny it anymore. They will, of course, when this all comes out someday in years from now. They say, why didn't, when this guy made this series to you, how come you didn't go look? Or whatever. They'll make believe that they never looked. They're so full of shit. Believe me, they looked. And their minion have looked. And they all got told, don't look.
Have those
with you right
inwardly, you're still gonna be happy.
I'm very happy with my life. I'm very happy with what I'm doing. You're making assumptions based on misogyny, based on projections you have about women that are not real.
But inwardly, you're not happy. You have no peace.
And also, you cannot tell me whether or not I'm happy. You don't even know me from a hole in the wall. You're just making things up.
Fact, without a doubt.
He's full of shit. He just likes pissing everyone off, which I enjoy listening to. But I just want to mention again too that because I'm starting to say things, but I got shit going on in the background, so I'm trying to do stuff. But all right, so the time that he's talking about when he was a kid, what times were like. This was before during Jim Crow, before Martin Luther King walks and all that kind of stuff, right? So it was before all that. So he blames feminism and and socialism and all these other isms on those parties, right? And those people, and say that they're all depressed and sad because of it, and that's what it's led to, is more depression and stuff, because women don't know their role, men don't know their role. He talks about beta males versus um, alpha, and that kind of thing and stuff. Him and another girl he did an interview were both doing that, talking about that stuff, and they're both wrong. We've been lied to about absolutely every fucking thing. There is reasons why our genetics is going up and down. Again, the food we eat, the air we breathe, the water we drink. There are reasons why we have. I mean, they tell us, and I do not hear this guy talking about it. They tell us we're gonna pump your babies with extra estrogen and extra testosterone at birth, right? We know that they're getting vaccinated up the fucking yin yang. Our children are, when they're being born. I don't hear him talking about any of that, about any of the heavy metals and minerals that are going into us at birth. At birth, why does it have to be at birth? You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be at birth. It could be at 14, 15, 27, or whatever. But no, they need you dumbed down. I'm sorry, they need you smartened up. They need your intelligence. So those little vaccines are going to help them make you more intelligent. And we all know this. We cannot fucking deny it. So when I hear this guy keep continuing to say that, during his time, things were better. No, they were not. Go look at the statistics. Even though the statistics are all lies as well, if you're gonna go compare oranges to oranges, then go look back at your time that you're claiming was better. The suicide rate was high. There was no feminism back then. There was no feminist movement, right? So why was the suicide rate among men so high? And then we already know why it was so successful among men rather than women, because they made it so stressful. Everything was stressful, even before the fucking. So yeah, everybody got dressed up and pretended like things were good. So yeah, the black community all went and got their best suit on. Mom took all day to iron everybody's fucking suits out there in the hot sun and all this, and then put herself together and everything like that. And both white and black families did this. This is the way it was. And then they went down to church, and for one day, everybody got to pretend that they had value. For the rest of the week, you're just working in the fucking coal mine, bitches. You're just fucking working your slave ass fucking jobs, 2 or 3 of them. According to this guy Peterson, he says, "Oh yeah, the man get 2 jobs, 3 jobs." Then how are you raising your fucking kids? You just got done claiming that the father needs to be part of the family in order to raise their kids. So if the father's working 2, 3 fucking jobs, what the fuck is wrong with you? And no one else points this out. None of these. This girl does a good job, but I'm just saying, most of the people that he's interviewing do not think of any of these comebacks at this guy. It's, I don't know. Is it planned out? Are these interviews all planned on? It seems it.
You don't know.
You're
You cannot.
miserable.
You cannot tell other people what they think or what they feel, and you cannot make assumptions. This is the very first time you're ever speaking to me. This is the very first time you're ever looking at me. So you don't know whether my life is happy or not. Like you have no concept of what happiness looks like for me. And what I am telling you is, I'm extremely happy. I love my life. I love the direction I'm on, and I am empowered and I'm happy. So what I'm trying to tell you is, you can sit there and spew whatever narrative you want to spew, but it's inaccurate. So you're trying to tell me what you think I feel about myself, and what I'm telling you is that you're wrong.
Well, you may have a false sense of happiness, but you have no peace. And happiness
No,
come
I
and
have
go.
peace and I have
And happiness
happiness.
is
You're just
based.
making things up. Like, this is not this conversation is not for you to tell me how I feel about myself. You don't know me.
Oh
So
yeah.
you're not going to cross that line. No, you're not going to cross that line in this interview to disrespect me or tell me how I feel about myself. I'm well aware of how I feel. I'm well aware of who I am.
Let me ask. On your website, you explain how men and boys get indoctrinated into extremism. What is that exactly?
Extremism is where mass violence occurs, like school shootings, going on to supermarkets and churches to commit mass violence against a group of people, right? That's what extremism is. So extremism occurs because Google and search engines and things of that nature will have put the highest ranking of whoever puts a bid in. So a lot of times extremist groups put bids online to indoctrinate boys to become extremists, to commit mass violence. So the boys that feel really insecure about themselves may try to Google self-help, try to look for how to date women and girls, or how to get confidence, or how to be strong, because the homosocial bonding dynamics essentially say that they have to perform in a hierarchy to be a man. That's what they're told.
But see, what you're saying is not true. Men and boys who carry out those type of acts are angry at their mothers, because all men and boys hate their mothers because of the evil nature of their mother.
So
All women are
that is
evil.
not the scientific data.
All
Does
women
not
are
say
evil.
that. The scientific data says that it stems from insecurity, and it's other men putting pressures on young men and boys that then lead them down that path of radicalization, where white supremacist groups then pay money to indoctrinate them.
But that's not
So
true,
it
though.
has nothing to do with their internal dynamics with their mother.
That's not true. It's
And
the
also,
spirit.
it's ignorant to say as a blanket statement that all men and all boys hate their mothers.
They do.
That is ignorant.
No, it's the truth. That's why
it's
there's so.
not true.
That's why if you notice,
That's
men,
called projection. If you're saying that every stereotype for every man ever, that every man is the same, that's projection.
even if you notice that men and boys who are angry, it's abnormal for a man to be angry, right? Anger is not normal for men, and it's
Anger
normal
is a
for
normal
women.
human emotion for
And
anyone.
if you notice
all
that,
emotions are normal.
if you notice that men and boys who are angry, they're acting just like women. They have the nature
That's
of their
not true.
mother.
All emotions are part of human survival. It's
No.
a biological response to the environment.
Emotions are
that's a
evil.
lack of understanding in biology.
Emotions are evil. There's nothing good about emotions. It's the nature of the woman.
Emotions are normal. They're part of how you function in a society and how you get ahead. It's by learning how to control emotions.
So if emotions are normal and people.
I mean, for him to say that part too, I mean, after watching the auditors for as long as I've been watching the auditors, a few months now, look at all the emotional men that are out there. A lot of them are alpha male. They're alpha male. I mean, I just watched, I mean, for you to say that they're not emotional, that's ridiculous. Yesterday, what's his name there? Chili. Matter of fact, I might continue that series to Delete Laws. I might continue that series. We'll see what happens. But he had a guy, and this happens for a lot of auditors. Look at all the cops. Look, I hate the cops are all fucking alpha, most of them. And they work on emotion. They're very emotional. So this guy Peterson, he's not as good as he thinks he is. He's not really looking at things honestly. He's just giving the same old fucking bullshit stories that we were given for thousands of years. He's just sticking to the biblical bullshit stories, really. Yeah, he's very much wrong about these things. And then he makes mention in here too about working 2-3 jobs. The man do that. All right, well, you have changed the system, buddy. You've changed the system. You put all the women into the workforce so that you can get more taxation. So the taxes, they would get more in taxes, right? And then also they breaks up the family. This was all purposely done. And you were part of it. This was your generation that you were talking about during Jim Crow's fucking scarecrow era. That was your generation that started the fuck. You believed in your time, in your day and age. This is a good one for you too, at your age, right? Peterson, I'm talking to Peterson. You believed at that time that all those airplanes flew for hundreds of miles with no one seeing them, and you believe that they flew all the way to Hawaii and blew up the fucking island the way they did, and then made it back home, no problem, no attack, no counterattack, no nothing, right? At least, I mean, not by other planes, not by other ships, not by, that kind of thing. I know we dropped a big bomb on them, supposedly, which was also most likely a fucking lie, too. Everything around it was a lie. They might have dropped a big bomb on them, but everything else was a lie. How many died during that big bomb, the damage the big bomb did, how much radiation was exposure, and how long they stayed not living on the land anymore. Everything else around it, kind of just like 9/11 or the moon landing or anything else you've ever been told that you put so much emphasis on. that also was a fucking lie. So you were around for a time. I'm not saying you were there for the bombing, but I'm saying that you existed in a time when it was big on everyone's mind, kind of like now how they put the Patriot Act through using the 9/11 bullshit stories, right? All the lies that revolved around that time. We now today, all of our children will be living off those lies. That's why that that video I did last week about going down and digitally collecting the EMNC from a piece of steel that's supposedly from that building. I don't know if it's really from the building or not. Nobody does. We don't really know. This could have all been set up for their displays and their monuments and all their shit. As far as what we were told, all that metal was ordered to be disintegrated and ordered to be demolished and buried and all this kind of shit because it was contaminated waste. So it needed to be go away. So now all of a sudden they painted it. Uh, they scratched it up. Got some rusty spots on it. They weld some shit to it, and they say that it was part of 9/11 for our memory, for our memorabilia to remember the lies. They want us to remember the lies the way that they tell us the lies, and then they'll change it later if they want to. And if they do, then we will remember the new lies. We'll forget about the old lies because we'll be demanded to. That's called freedom. You call that fucking freedom? To be able to live by all the lies that we're told, and that's freedom? I mean, get fucked, man. You're so full of shit, dude. Um, yeah, everything's been a fucking lie. Absolutely everything. It's amazing. So during Pearl Harbor, you believed that these planes they flew all that way and there was no ships, there was nobody, and they flew so low between the mountains that there's no other tower that had a radio that could, because you got to remember back then we did have radio and Morse code, and we had communications, right? um, Nobody on a ship communicated to another ship and then to another ship to say, hey, there's all these planes headed your way. Lots of them, hundreds by the hundreds. I can see them flying down below the mountain. So your radar may not pick them up. Um, that didn't happen. Okay, that's kind of strange. And then what about the if they were flying so low? We had low ground radar for other reasons. We had underwater radar for other reasons. What, those radars were not working either? The radars that were on the ships, the radars that were in between the mountains, and we know that we had them. We had them right here, even in Massachusetts. Fucking at that time, we already had that kind of shit going on. If we were ever attacked or whatever, people would know. They put somebody on a horse and fucking send them, send them going. I mean, it's just so fucked up that you believed in all that stuff, but yet now you're refusing to to look back on it and say, oh, shit, we were lied to about everything. I thought we were just lied to about some shit. I thought it was just the feminist movement that were a bunch of fucking liars. No, man, it's everybody. So what, were you the first liars? Were us men the first liars? I doubt it. I doubt it, because everything was divided. It was Adam and Eve. It wasn't just Adam. And it wasn't just Eve, it was Adam and Eve. And we kept being divided, 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 divided. Lots of answers for you if you just go look, man, Mr. Peterson.
People have anger, and they all do until they overcome it. Why do they have to take medication to try to make themselves feel better and deal with reality?
So that's
They are
different than
all type
emotions,
of
right? Like
drugs and
that's
stuff like that.
psychological differences that are neurological or have to do with biological chemistry.
Not true.
That's different, but
Not
that is
true.
different than a blanket emotion. They're not the same. They're not congruent. Somebody who has a lack of serotonin who needs an antidepressant, it's because they're missing a chemical in their brain.
No, it's because
So
they're
like to sit
angry.
there and equate that to having emotions is not the same thing.
It's because they're angry and they have been separated from their earthly father by their mothers, because women hate the children's fathers, boys and girls. They hate the boys and girls, and they turn the children
Honestly, like
away.
this all sounds like it's a conspiracy theory.
What do you mean?
The reality of it is every family structure is different. So unless you're in somebody's home, you don't know what their house is like. You don't know what their relationship dynamics are, and you don't know how they feel about their parents or their children or their wife or their husband. Every relationship is different and unique. So to have a blanket statement that all men are like this, or all women are like this, or all children are like this, that's an ignorant statement because it lacks the fundamental understanding that each person is an individual.
I think what you might not realize is that women don't have love; they only have anger, and anger is evil. And so
Honestly,
when the
I don't
kids
know
are
who you
when the
dealt with
kids
in
are
your
born,
life or what women you have or
let me
haven't
just make this
surrounded
one. I
yourself
said
with.
all women.
But it sounds right. Again, it's a fundamental lie because there's millions of women on the planet who are vastly different. So to put every woman in a blanket, to put every man in a blanket, and to say that they're all the same as stereotypes are fundamental lies because that's not how reality operates. So it's a projection. That's a projection saying that your belief system and what you feel on the inside is what you believe everybody else is like. That's not reality.
Do you believe that women have love?
I believe everybody has the capacity to love.
Do you
Everybody.
believe that women have love?
I believe women love ourselves and love men and love everybody else.
Do you believe that women have love?
Yes.
Women don't have love. Where they get it
Yes,
from?
they do.
Where did they
Yes,
get it
they
from?
do.
Where did they get it from?
Love it. First of all, love is an internal emotion, just like anger is, happiness is, everything else. It's an emotion.
Love is not an emotion.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It absolutely
That's
is.
hate.
What that tells me is that you have a lack of understanding on human emotion, and that compares to why you're saying what you're saying in these blanket statements.
If women have love, where did they get it from?
Everybody has love in themselves, and then you choose to give it to another person, like any other emotion. You feel an emotion on the inside, and then you choose to play it out in your environment.
If
That's
women
how
have
emotions
love,
work.
if women have love, where did they get it from?
Women, I just told you this. It's an emotion that comes from the inside.
Man, where did
Like
they get
every
that
other
emotion from the
if you're
inside?
angry, if you're happy, if you're sad, if you're upset, if you're excited, all of those are emotions that come internally.
But they are
and then
evil
you
emotions,
express
though.
emotions in your external environment.
They are evil emotions. They're not good.
No, it sounds to me like you have a lack of understanding on how human emotions operate.
Yeah, he thinks everything is evil. He thinks fucking everything's based on evil and goodness. That's only one division. I've noticed he does that with God and Satan. He does that a lot. He compares this. He has this thing that he rolls into about being born again by the Father, being born again under the Father. Because when you're born from your mother's womb, you're born from femininity, born from a woman, and then you have to be reborn, which is a good point to bring up. I like that he brings that up because that is what the churches do declare. It's not being reborn for God, it's reborn for the Father. And it's worded that way, the Father God, right? And then he compares Satan to femininity, to women as Satan. And that's, you can't put them in their own categories. When the false creator / creator did his build, it was based on division, people. It was all division. So male and female come from one. The true creator's work, everything is one. There is no male and female in the true creator's work. There is no up, down, and left, right, backward, forward, in or out for that matter, or any other divisions in the true creator's work. True creator's work is all one. When you look at human concepts are real bad. They're beyond fucking bad. So when you want to talk about Satan, compare your fucking Satan rather than comparing it to the women's work. Compare it to humankind altogether, because we have agreed to live by these lies. And you yourself, Mr. Peterson, are propagandizing all these lies, because the human concept is what brought zeros in. And you want to talk about hell, you want to talk about evil. Look at the zero, my friend. Go look at the O, the circle, the zero. Everything that is circular, O or zero, is based on lies. Everything from your spinning web pararocket ball that you cannot even decide from day to day, is it a ball? Well, gee, that don't make any sense, because if it became a ball from spinning, then why is it not shaped like an egg? Well, when we look at pictures of it from outer space, because you think that these pictures are really actually coming from fucking outer space, you're out of your minds. No one's going past the veil. What you call the Van Allen belts? Nobody's going past the Van Allen belts. Nobody. Not no machine. There's nothing here in this realm that can handle it. That's why the false creator / creator built you this wonderful bio realm that biospecies could flourish in. Is that the word? Flourish? Flourish in. So So he's wrong about absolutely everything he fucking talks about. I don't know what this battery's getting low. The battery's getting low. All right, I gotta finish playing this through. But yeah, he's wrong about that. Again, the human concept you could compare to evil, devil, Satan, whatever. The human concept. But to say that women are evil and men are godly and all this shit, no, man. He ain't got it right, man. The human concept is the worst fucking thing that we've done to ourselves. Worse than the devil, worse than Satan. It really is. And we've all agreed to it, men and women. We've all signed up for it. And our poor children and grandchildren and the generations after us, because no one's going and looking. No one will just go look for themselves. They all have to go and listen to what everybody else says, whether it's Ben Shapiro, Donald Trump, Biden, fucking all your movie stars, your actors, actresses, all the way to the black Peterson and the white Peterson. You believe anything you're fucking told. You won't go look and see and know reality for yourselves. You won't be believing in reality. You'll be seeing it and knowing it. So wake up, everyone.
Right to be saying any of what you're saying.
No, that's why you feel good. As soon as you're feeling good, your God tell you something, now you feel bad. Your thoughts tell you something, you feel bad. Now you feeling bad, you got to do something to feel good. Then you feeling good, now you got to do something to feel bad. And after a while, you want to jump off a bridge somewhere because the so-called feel-good emotions are evil and the bad emotions are evil. Emotions are not good. That's why you have to overcome.
No, this just sounds.
That's
this
why
just
you have to
sounds
overcome
like
emotions.
you've never ever like studied how human emotions operate.
I
They're
know
biological
exactly.
imperatives. Every species on the planet has emotions, part of survival. So to sit there and say that emotions are bad is another ignorant
I
statement.
didn't say they were
inaccurate.
bad. I said they
They're-
were. I said they were evil.
Again, they're not. They're a necessary part of humanity and how we
No,
function in society.
no.
They are.
But let me ask: women who, you know how in divorce cases, and sometimes when men make babies with these women, females out of wedlock, the woman go to court and she try to keep the children from their fathers, and the fathers from the children. Is that love or hate?
Again, that's an interpersonal dynamic. Not every divorce is like that, right? So
Is
whatever
that
happens
love
in
or
a
hate?
divorce between a man and a woman has to do with their individual dynamic.
When a
That's
woman
not
try
all
to
women
keep
and
the
that's not
children,
all men.
when a woman
There
try
are
to
some
keep,
men that are abusing their women, and there are some men that are good men. So,
when,
like, to sit there and say that every dynamic is like that is not true.
when women try to keep the children from the fathers and the fathers from the children, is that love or hate?
Again, every dynamic is different.
I didn't
and
say Aries. You said
the
Aries.
reasons behind
I'm
why
asking
someone's
you,
dynamics happen, we don't know.
is that love
We're
or
on the
hate?
outside.
When,
We don't know. We don't know if that father is good or bad. We don't know whether or not she's spiteful or she's protecting her child. We don't know.
is that love or hate when the women try to keep the children
I
from the
just said
fathers?
to you, we don't know the
But the
circumstance.
children
You're
have
asking
nothing
me
to
to
do with
answer.
the
You're
children.
asking me to answer a situation on a vague dynamic that we don't know the facts
I
about.
didn't ask you
We
that.
have to look at we have to look at facts. That's called reality.
I didn't ask
So
you
if
that.
we
I
don't know
asked
the
you, was it
backstory,
love
we
or?
don't know whether it's love or hate. We don't know.
I know that what it is. When women try to keep children from their father, it's hate. They hate the children. They hate the father. They hate themselves. They have
Again,
no love.
that's a blanket statement. We don't know.
Why else would women keep the children? They have nothing to do with
There's
the
100
situation.
different reasons why a divorce could happen. It could happen because of abuse. It could happen because the father's a pedophile. We don't know. So it's not every circumstance that a woman hates a man.
Yes, it
could
is.
very well be she has to protect her child. We don't know. Do you understand? We cannot make assumptions about something we don't know about. We have to look at the facts.
I know
and
that
analyze what
any
the facts are
woman.
telling us.
I know that any woman that keeps the children away from the father is hate. It's not love. It's hate.
Again, we don't know. That is for a judge in the American legal system to decide. That is not for outsiders who have no relevance in a situation to make assumptions. Assumptions is how you get information incorrect. When you have an assumption, that's how you get a delusion. And that's how you play out delusions. That is not our responsibility to go into people's personal relationships and start making assumptions about them.
Let me ask this, and then I want to move on to some other stuff here. I have recommended to men that they should not marry educated women because educated women do not make for good wives and mothers. They're on an ego trip. they think that they're equal to men, so they're gonna always have a competition there. And I know you have to agree with me that an educated woman does not make for a good wife or mother.
Again, you're saying that it's a monolith. People are not monoliths, right? Everybody is different. First of all, educated women and educated men who have what's called egalitarian relationships lack competition. When you treat someone as an equal, there is no competition. When one person wants to be above the other and oppress the other person, that creates a competition. So it's antithetical what you're saying, because in reality, the scientific data says that when relationships are equal, then those relationships tend to stay together for life. So men who treat their partner as an equal tend to never get divorced. Whereas men who try to oppress their woman and create competition and create a power dynamic end up chronically single. So the reality of it is every person is different. Some people want to get married and be a housewife. Some people don't. Everyone is a different human being. No one is the same. So we cannot sit there and say whether or not someone's a good wife or not. It depends on her, if she wants to be a wife or not in the first place.
So do you agree with me or not that women that are educated does not make for a good wife or mother? Do you agree with that?
I don't agree with any blanket statement. I believe that everybody is an individual and every individual has to be looked at as an individual for who they are as a person.
Do you agree with me that women who are married and yet they want to go to work to prove that they're equal to the man rather than stay at home and raising
It's
the
not
man?
that women want to work. It's that
Yeah,
we live in a
I haven't asked
capitalist
the question yet.
society
I haven't finished
where
yet.
the upper class has created a dynamic that it's necessary for two people in a household to work to sustain it. It is not fair to a man to have to take care of everything on one income when their income has been going down chronically,
He can
right?
get
That
more
adds
than one
an
job.
unnecessary burden to a man. So what I'm saying is if a woman wants to support her household and she wants to support her man and he's fine with it, that is a decision between those two people. That is a decision for them.
So I want to, maybe you missed the question. What I'm asking is that women that are married and they insist on going to work instead of staying home and watching over the man's children or raising them, those are selfish women. Am I right? They have no love.
No,
They
what
don't
I'm
love
trying
the
to tell you
children.
is that not everything in a relationship is based on competition and dominance. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if a woman chooses to go to work to support her family, that's a choice between her and her husband. And whatever agreements they come to that they feel is best for their household is whatever makes sense. That does not mean that's a competition. That's called collaboration. That means that they're coming to an agreement to work together.
Do you
So
agree
whatever
with
they
me that?
choose to do in their household, it is not my business.
Do you agree
So
with
whatever
me that?
someone chooses to do in their marriage, I don't care. That's up to them.
Do you agree with me that men who stay home and pretend to be the woman of the house, housewife or house mother, whatever they call it, are beta males?
No, I believe that whatever people need to do for their family life is up to them. So if it
Well,
works
those
that a
are
man
weak.
needs
At
to
least
stay
you
at
agree they're
home,
weak, right?
I do not view that as weak. I believe that whatever a family decides that is best for their family is good. So if it makes sense for the man to stay home and take care of kids, then that if that's what it makes sense for their family, then he's providing for his family. So whatever a family chooses to
But
do and
women
how
hate
they create
women
their
hate
life,
weak men. Have you noticed that?
that's not true.
Yeah.
What women
No,
do not
it's
like
absolutely
are
true.
men who lack emotional intelligence.
They hate weak men.
No, women, it has nothing to do with the concept of men being weak. What women do not tolerate is men who lack emotional intelligence. That is
No
fundamentally
such
different.
thing.
No, what men view
Emotions are
typically,
unintelligent.
no, what men typically view as weak is very different from what women view as weak.
Right.
Men
That's
view
true.
vulnerability. Right, men view vulnerability as weakness. Women view vulnerability as courage.
But it's
So
weakness.
if
That's because women
no,
can't see they have anger.
that's
They're too
fundamentally
emotional.
different. Emotions are not weakness.
It
They're
is.
fundamental to
Women
human
call
biology
good
and evolution.
evil and evil good. They're emotional, so they can't see because Satan is their God.
The scientific data actually says that men have deeper and stronger emotions than women, and that
They're
women
just
are
like
more
their
rational.
mothers.
That's what the data says.
Those who have
So
it
they're-
are just like their mothers. They got that from their mothers, and they need to overcome that by returning to their fathers.
That's not true because the reality of it is all human beings have emotions. So whether it's a man
I
or
know
a
it.
woman, a
That's why
father
they
or
need to
mother,
return
every
to the
human being
Father.
has emotions.
That's why they need to return to the Father, because emotional men are just like their mothers.
That's not true because men, when you look at homosocial bonding and the way men interact with men, they are more emotional with each other than women are.
Now, he's so full of shit. I just don't know if he's being full of shit on purpose, trying to get a reaction. He does do that a lot. But look at Trump. He loves fucking Trump. Trump is the most emotional fucking person. It's fake emotion most of the time. It's fake emotion. But if you're saying that you don't like emotions and you think that emotions are bad, then why would you like Trump? His whole propaganda fucking scam is based on emotion. He stands up at the elections and says, put her in jail, right? Lock her up was his big fucking phrase, right? But that was a lie. He never intended on locking her up. He never intended on doing anything. As a matter of fact, most of the shit he put through in his executive orders were based on old campaigns from the Clintons. Right? They're fucking best buddies. Full of shit. Him and Biden are fucking best buddies. They think right along the same line. In other words, they play opposites. They're playing a role the same way that you're playing a role, Mr. Peterson. It's all a bunch of bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. So, the dramatic, melodramatic role of the mother and not the father. I mean, everything is based on emotion. They're playing on our emotions because it's part of the electrical current that is all around us. If you play with the fucking current and you know how to use the current, I don't know if I'd call it playing with it anymore. If the 7.8 billion zombie slaves throw up their hands and say, yeah, you can fucking play with us electrically, not only biolely, because in the bio realm, then yeah, that's a big part of it. But because in other words, they have control over the medical industry, right? Who today is allowed to not have health care? You're not allowed to not have health care. You have to have health care. It's a law. Just like the laws of gravity, it's a natural fucking law that you must have it. Just like the bullshit story about the Constitution, as I'm calling out these guys that are auditors. It's bullshit. It was all based on lies. Lies so that we could all be divided as we were going along. That's what the Constitution does for us. So I don't understand how you could not look at Trump as building a wall. I heard you bring that up in a couple videos about Trump building the wall. Trump built the fucking wall to keep the zombie slaves in, not to keep the illegals out. No illegals were staying out. The whole plan, if you haven't noticed, you talk about, I mean, China's the new leading world power. It's been happening for about 100 years, I'd say, or so. And we all knew this. We all signed up for it. So now here we are pretending that we did not sign up for that. That's the problem you should have with it as a black human, especially at your darkness of black, because you are the people that are supposed to be running things right now. You are supposed to be the leading world power no matter where you are on this earth. The black humans are supposed to have their turn again. They've already missed their turn and lost their turn several times over. That's why I was saying earlier in the video about it going round and round. It already went white, brown, gray, lighter brown. They all had their turns. It's all been around. Yellow, right? Because we supposedly started out in yellow, right? 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago, whatever they tell you in their bullshit stories. And it went around and it got back to yellow again. Then it went around and it got back to yellow again. And now here we are going around again, all the colors except black. Black keeps being missed for tens of thousands of years or more. The black humans have been sidetracked. They're not getting their turn as leaders on the world stage. If you want to go along with their fucking lies about it being a world, then ask them that. Ask your Freemasony fucking Illuminati buddies. Ask them why then are the black humans not able to get their turn on the world stage again? And now we're losing it everywhere. When you look around in African countries, or in those countries over there in the African realm, and I have a lot of questions about it myself, as far as they're so behind the times, right, with their technology. We're only looking at it that way because we think of technology as a good thing. The humans think of technology as great, but I guarantee you, you're talking about crack addicts and heroin addicts and all this shit being the bad guys. Think about that fucking cell phone, that propagandist, brainwashing piece of shit cell phone that you all have. Some of you multiple. I myself hate them, and I have, what, 5, 6 cell phones that I use as cameras and fucking phones. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid. And a computer screen and the televisions and the radios and all the propaganda shit that we go through. I mean, think about it, man. That's the fucking danger. Because can you picture everybody going and looking at what I'm showing you now and then all getting together and deciding, all right, we're dropping the technology, at least the cell phones. We don't want to be tracked anymore. We don't want to be followed, or every move is followed by these cell phones. We all know this. We all know this. So why would we not get together as a society, as a people, and say, no more cell phones? They're destroying our children. They're destroying my daughter, in your case, that you're worried about the women all being ho-hos and the men are all being beta males and all that. If you're so worried about it, then why are you not putting your foot down about the cell phones? Because the cell phones are the biggest fucking distraction, the biggest problem, because they get all of their information, false information, from the same fucking group at the top that is feeding you all the false information. So where do we go? YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all these places to talk to each other and to do our gay little videos. And then what do we get out of it in the end? It's just feedback. It's the same feedback that we started out with. You know, it doesn't make any sense. No one's looking for themselves. No one's thinking for themselves. And then I also heard you mention, Mr. Peterson, I heard you talk about just so many things that I want to go back at you with and just try to point it out to you in another way, you know. So I guess I'll wait until I hear you talk about it again. Let's see.
Are with other women.
Because they're like
When
their
you look at
mother.
data, the scientific research specifically says that men have difficulties with upregulation, which means that men are more likely and are more vulnerable to negative emotions and have stronger negative emotions.
It's true. That's why I was bringing up earlier in the video when you were talking about it. This guy Peterson always goes back to. You always go back to your time as a child when you were growing up, and if you're gonna do that, then at least be fucking fair about it, because you're in total denial of what was happening back then. Maybe you were kept away from any reality for your entire life by staying in the school system, right? If you're in the school system, you're indoctrinated, you're believing what they're telling you. But no, man, it's a whole, and you're wrong. Men, alpha and beta, are emotional fucking lunatics. They all are. They freak out over any fucking thing. Yes, they can bring themselves back to logic and shit like that, and if they can. You were talking earlier about the drugs and the medicine and everything like that, but the not paying attention to what we eat in our food is worse than the fucking heroin. Hey, it's worse than the fucking heroin. It really is. There are more people dying of cancer and diabetes than there are of heroin. We just don't look at it that way because we say, oh, well, you got to eat, you know, but giving no fucking, oh, what are you going to not eat meat? I'm not even, I'm talking about meat and vegetation, whatever, anything. We have no idea what our true heavy metal and mineral makeup is, and we have no idea of what it's supposed to be in order to be the optimal electrical species that we started out as, because that's what we were. We're electrical species before we're biospecies, but yet we live today as if we're all bio, and we are more electrical than we are bio. So I mean, there's a lot for you to fucking wake up to, Mr. Peterson. You're not going to listen to my words because I don't have the same education and background as you do, but I do have eyes to see, and I do have enough intelligence and to stand on now to, it's not even intelligence, it's truth and reality. I have enough reality and truth to show you that you can go look for yourselves and make your own determinations. I'm positive that you're going to come to the same conclusions, but you have to look. So I heard you say earlier that man was created in the image of God. Not true. All lies. You have to complete that sentence. That's a false statement because it's not a complete statement. The truth about the true statement would be feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast are built in the image of the true creator. right? That's what we could say, because the true creator builds everything with feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. Everything in this realm is built with those triangular builders building those images within each other, making up everything in this realm. There's some things I want to talk to. The video is going to die on me because my camera's almost dead. But there's some things you brought up about
Emotions than women do.
about even abortion and things like that. Oh, you're right. None of that should have happened. But it was all propagandized by emotional men. It was first brought on by emotional men before women. The whole idea of killing innocent babies, right? How does that happen? Because men lied about the zero, men lied about math, and then you take that as to be true. If they didn't lie, if men didn't lie about the math itself, right? Then months and minutes of the day, the clock itself is a lie. All these things are a lie. So therefore, at conception, when the seed is first fired up, it takes, we all know how it works, right? The man has to come in the woman, and the woman and the man's sperm gets into the woman's eggs, and we get lucky, and one of those thousands of eggs or tens of thousands of eggs is gonna have a creation. There's gonna be a spark, and there's gonna be a baby coming soon in the next 9 months. Well, that conception is the start of the human life, because those certain heavy metals and minerals got together with those other certain heavy metals and minerals, again, dividing in order to multiply. So divide in order to multiply. You can't multiply first. You have to divide. You can't take one and multiply one, right? You have to multiply one and one and one and one. You're just going to keep getting the ones. This is our human conceptions, human concepts of zeros. So that's why computers are 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. There's lots of zeros in the computer system because it's all fake. It's fraudulent, just like the human concept. We have zeros in our temperature. We put zeros in our months, on our clocks, in our time. We put zeros in there, which is a falsity. Do you understand that, what I'm saying to you, people? Anybody out there that might be listening, you have to go look at the system and see the true creator for yourself. You have to see the false creator/creator for yourselves. You have to have a deeper understanding of the human concept and the human influence, that you may compare more to Satan than you do the false creator/creator. But the whole point of me using the terms false creator/creator is to show you that's when division began. So you have the false creator and the creator, both God and Satan. That's the whole point of me explaining it that way, because that's when division began. So this guy Peterson keeps talking about
So the reality is,
a lot of biblical shit that was made up. Now this girl here points out about the 3,000 year ago lies. We don't even know if it was those lies came out 3,000 years ago. They might have came out just 400 or 500 years ago. They may have claimed the same way they do with dinosaurs. You pricks fucking to believe in dinosaurs? You motherfuckers believe that dinosaurs existed at any time in human history? You're a liar. You're a fucking liar. And then I'm watching all the Go Bros. The Go Bros are going over to Taiwan, talking about how good the women are over there to marry and everything. Taiwan is fucking zombified the same way that China is zombified, the same way that every country is zombified. There are very few at the very top that know what it is I'm showing you and know what it is I'm explaining to you. Very few. The rest of us, we all choose to live by the lies. We love living by the lies. If you live in Taiwan, they were sold not even as long ago as we were. They were sold on the idea that dinosaurs are real. They were real. In other words, they walked the earth at some time because they got their bones and their dinosaur footprints and all their shit. It's all lies. It's all lies. Provably a lot false, right? But yet, everybody wants to believe in these lies. They'll go as far as to say that some things are mythology, like unicorns, right? Unicorns are mythology. There's probably a better chance that unicorns were real, or a better chance that a dodo bird was actually real at one time than there is dinosaurs ever being fucking real. There was no such thing as dinosaurs, at least not in the way that they tell us. Yes, there were creatures and other species and shit like the same way that there are other species all over the earth right now. Those came via human concepts. Those came via human influence. They did not come from the false creator / creator nor the true creator. Because if they did, they would be in the imagery that I'm showing you right now. They would be in the imagery that I'm showing you all around us in the true creator's work. That's all the false creator / creator stole from the true creator, along with his energy, was his build, his feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast images. He brought them to a bio form, right? So anything other than the feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast that I'm telling you about and showing you, I'm not telling you shit. I'm just showing you. Yes, I'm talking a lot today. That's unusual for me, but there was a lot of shit that had to be said when I'm listening to these videos. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Where the fuck is everybody, you know? It's fucking ridiculous.
Women are more comfortable expressing emotions because of society.
Let me ask you this.
Societal expectations allow women to
Let me
express
ask this.
emotions.
Why do you, I know why, but I'm asking you, why are women so jealous of men that they're always in their mind and in action, especially in the mind, they're always in competition with men? Why are they so jealous of men, you think?
Women are not jealous of men, and women are not a monolith. Again, so you have different women who have different feelings and different emotions. So the reality of it is, it's not a blanket statement that all women are jealous. Are there women who are jealous? Are there women who are angry? Are there women who hate men? Absolutely. But that is not every woman. There are plenty of women who genuinely like men. There are plenty of women who are supportive of men. Every woman is different. Do you understand? It's not a blanket statement. We have to look at individuals for who they are.
And so why are they jealous,
though?
though?
That every woman is jealous.
You're not answering my questions for some reason. Why is it that women are jealous of men?
I am answering your question. I'm just not answering it to your liking, because your liking, all of your questions are assumptions that every person's the same. That's not true. Every person's different.
No, they're not, but I understand. You write a lot about modern slavery. So I want to ask, are the Democrats allow illegal aliens to bring in slaves through the border?
So it's not just Democrats or Republicans, it's more the upper class. The upper class as a whole benefits from illegal immigration, which does contribute to modern slavery. So when you're looking at the systems of modern slavery, the more you have people that are willing to accept low wages on the economic spectrum, you end up with lowering everybody's wages on the economic spectrum. So that benefits just the upper class, which is made up of Democrats and Republicans, right? So they all contribute to the system of modern slavery. And what happens is when we have a lot of immigration and these people end up in what's called the underground economy, the underground economy is where modern slavery occurs, but it affects everybody who's trying to increase their wages across the board. It impacts everybody adversely.
So the people who are coming across our borders illegally, they must love to be enslaved, because they didn't want to be enslaved, they wouldn't come here.
That's an inaccurate statement. We have to look at the fact that the United States...
They volunteered to come here.
No. The United States did 56 military coups in Latin America that led to gang violence and the destabilization of their governments, like Haiti. Haiti does not have a government. It's in complete anarchy. And that was due to the fact that the United States Marine Corps went there in 1911 and reintroduced slavery on behalf of the Big Bang. So what I'm trying to tell you is the reason people are coming to the border...
But that's not true what you just said.
The reason the United States has to accept them at the border is because their governments have been destabilized.
What you just said about Haiti is not true, but I want to move on.
It is true because my whole book is on it, and I won awards for my research, so it's definitely true. There's plenty of research on it.
It doesn't take a lot to get an award today.
All modern slavery, every single time there is slavery that occurs, it is because someone in the upper class benefits from it.
It doesn't take much to get an award, especially when you mention slavery today in America. But let me ask.
So that's definitely not true, because you're discrediting the work and effort people get and for their notable recognition.
People using the word slavery to make money nowadays.
The research that I conducted is well researched, and anyone can read my book and see how well researched it is.
What people use
it is a known fact. It is a known fact that the United States went into Haiti in 1911, and there's documents in Congress that were written that specifically say they intended to reintroduce slavery because they did not want Haiti as a black nation to lead the economy in the Western Hemisphere. So
People,
that is a known fact.
but people use the word slavery to make money now. And you hear it everywhere. Racism and slavery. It's all about the money. But I want to ask you something you said. You believe Christian nationalists are the modern face of Nazi ideology. And you write
Right.
that American Christian nationalism is the modern face of Nazi ideology. What do you mean by that?
So Christianity as a religion is different than Christian nationalism. Christian nationalism was hijacked by white supremacists who started to use Christianity as a tool to indoctrinate people into white supremacist ideology. So people who are Christians as their religion but are not Christian nationalists are different. I want to specify that. Christianity as a religion in and of itself is someone engaging in their freedom and their right to believe what they want. Christian nationalism are ideologies that support what's called fascism. So what that means is that they don't believe in the American ideals of democracy. They don't believe in capitalism. They strictly believe in fascism, which is the same thing as Nazi Germany. The Nazis in Germany did not like democracy. They did not like capitalism. They liked fascism. So what happens is white supremacist groups will go in and create a pseudo-Christian culture,
True.
and then they use the political fundamentals of Nazism, and then they say that Jesus wanted this and Jesus wanted that when it's inaccurate.
Where
Yep,
you get all
it's
that
true.
mess? Where
It's
you get
true.
all that mess from? Christian nationalism just mean that Christians love their country. They're nationalists
That's
because
not
they
true.
love.
No, they were programmed. They were programmed to love their country. That's why you hear so many people claiming that the United States is the greatest country in the world until people that live in the United States travel abroad, right? They go moving around and they go and check out other parts of the world and they say, "Oh my God, this is so much better. I thought that we were the best." And they look around and it's, oh, I see. It's propaganda, man. You went through the school system. You believed in the education that you got, and therefore, that whether it was in church or the schools or every place that you learned, and you really feel strongly about it, you're not willing to look at anybody else's point of view. So far, that's what I see. I mean, you're really good. I mean, I like you. You're sarcastic, and I like your sarcastic wit. But you're wrong. You refuse facts. Anybody that gives you any facts about any kind of reality, you seem to want to refuse it, even though they're wrong too. They're still giving you, just like you do on your side. Sometimes you'll have things that will be true, and not really based on reality, but they're true. They're only true because everyone says that they're true. Doesn't mean that they're reality. They're not real. They're just true because humans all have agreed that it's true that the zero belongs in our math. We've all agreed on that. So therefore it becomes true. And right? And in your opinion anyway. I'm telling you, go look for yourself. Stop listening to anything that was written or drooled off the human tongue. Anything that came from a human, whether it's out of their mouth or written down or displayed, played out, whatever, it's all lies. It's all fucking lies. So you can see that it's all lies, though. We can see it with our own eyes all around us, not just at the cloud level. I got to get back to the moon soon.
That's not what the data
Do you
says.
love
The
your
data
country?
says that Christian nationalists are fascists.
No,
you
that's
cannot
not
love
true.
the United States of America and be fascist.
A fascist
We live
is
in
a.
a capitalist democracy.
Do you love
So
America?
if you like fascism, you're not. That's exactly what Nazi Germany.
Do you
was.
love America?
Absolutely.
Well, then you're a nationalist.
And I believe in capitalism.
And you're a
I believe in
nationalist.
capitalism and democracy.
So you're a nationalist. You're a Nazi.
No, that's not. You're not understanding. Nazism is the affinity to fascism.
Capitalism would work if it was truly based on what it was, what we claimed it was intended, right? Then it would work. But it's not. It's not based on it. There's so much propaganda. The people that are running things at the top have complete control over who we vote for. And we claim that those votes are our independent votes and we decided. No, we did not. No. You think this fucking dude, Peterson here, You think he likes Trump for any other reason other than he was propagandized to like Trump? Trump has done nothing for us, nothing. The bullshit story he brings up about the wall, that wall was fucking bullshit from the get-go. People were going under it, over it, around it. There's doors in it. It was just a show. It was just a way to hide some money. So what? Out of $12 billion, $2 billion went missing, and we say, oh, that's not bad. That's not much. I mean, to be skimmed off the top, you know. And it's the same thing we do in every war that we're in and everything else. It's all about money. So the idea of of being a free human being. I mean, it's such bullshit. We're not free to have our own thoughts. If that was the case, then YouTube would not be shutting down my videos. A guy that's doing videos about clouds and talking about the true creator, the false creator / creator, and these kind of things, my videos should not be being shut down for all the reasons that it is. And they're all shut down all the time. My videos get bleeped and bloopered, and some of them that get thousands of fucking views. Every day I watch them go from 150 back down to 7, get back up to 80, back down to 10, back up to, day by day, my videos get, the ones that do get watched, some of them do, and then YouTube knocks them back down again. So there's nothing fair about any of the system. It's not really a free market out there. It's really not. And we all know this. And then the biggest thing I'll talk about when he and her both claim that they like our system that we live in, that's because you were programmed to like it. It's nothing fair about it, because even if you can go out and make something, you're not, because right off the bat, 50% of everything you make is taken from you, okay? Right off the bat. Then you have to go through life. So every time you go to the grocery store, we didn't notice that laundry detergent over the last 3 years has gone from $13 a bottle to $19.77 a bottle. Eggs have gone from $1.50 to some. I've just seen them today for $8, $9 for 16 eggs for $8.95 or something. This is at Walmart, one of the cheapest fucking stores you can buy your garbage from, and everything has gone way up. Gas is up $1.50 higher, but everybody's grateful that it came down $2, right? So it came down $2, and everyone brags about that. Oh yeah, gas is back down again, thank goodness. Yeah, but it's still $1.50 higher than it was just a few years ago. Nah, men, women, everybody, bunch of dumbed down zombie slaves, intelligent zombie slaves, I should say, smartened up zombie slaves, not dumbed down. And then another one too that I want to point out is that there was he was interviewing someone else the other day, and that I was watching, that I caught, and he talked about they were talking about the races and the black and white thing and everything like that, and he said some other things that just don't really make sense, even from when I'm watching his point of view. He won't look for anything factual. He only, and then he gets pissed when, sarcastic, not pissed, but I won't say he gets emotional on the outside, but on the inside, you can tell his gears are turning, right? So I don't know if we want to call it emotional, but he definitely gets offended when other people are stating their bullshit stories, right? So when the liberal douchebags are talking about the way they see things, he's easy to say right away, oh, that's wrong, that's false, that's bullshit. But then when he's slinging his own bullshit stories, he's not so willing to look and think about it for a second even, and say, all right, I'll think about that for a little bit. I'll think about that. Maybe you got something there. Or something. He won't do it. So I don't see why he thinks he's so open. He's not open to shit. This is really like listening to the black version of Jordan Peterson, the two Petersons. That's why I'm going to start calling them that now. The white Peterson and